food chain just yet, but in this game, we will understand exactly what happened to the Yusun chain and why Coach Lembo and Coach Snap greenlit this pick. Welcome to game number 3, the rubber match in this best of 3. All or nothing.
To
Smart Omega.
MobileLegends.
The dream stays alive, or they both get eliminated tonight.
Gold lane, Ruby, mid lane,
What?
Lunox.
Wait.
Yeah, they went double fighter because they want to supplement the YSS farm.
You're right. We got blinded by the Yusun Shin pick that we forgot to consider who's going where.
This is the new Mountain Shocker we're about to see.
It still does reveal the map, but the damage AoE is targeted.
Yeah. It's a little bit more boring, not gonna lie. However, I do like the utility of like being able to toss my ship onto someone. That's good.
and you being able to call for it whenever you want.
Yeah.
And you no longer have to go through the base.
Yeah, that's true. It's targeted. So it feels good still. Let's see how it's going to fare this time around in the pro scene. Double fighter is what they decided to pair with it.
It's still a 1-3-1, but I don't like that mid. I don't like the center, the heart, the core of this lineup. Great read for AP Bren, though. Coach CJ, Coach Jeff, Coach Pakbet, they said, like, no, take the link. They want the link.
Yeah. They banned it out, and then they picked an X-Borg glass pick. Some great draft calls
There you go.
around for AP Bren. Good poke there by Andor.
That was a Mountain Shocker.
Yeah.
And now they
it.
are fully aware of wherever the other members are. This is like, I've been really looking at the matchup in the gold lane. This Ruby Granger matchup. It's been such a long time since we've seen the Ruby in the gold. But
Jom is doing oddly well, though.
Yeah, and is it going to be a Ruby with physical damage items? Maybe that's why Chizo's waiting his time.
that's the Phantom Steed, already used by James Panks, but multiple members are knocked up. And Okir flickers in with the Chaos Assault. And now they're able to take down two members from AP Bren. That's James Panks and Kick It Out already gone right before the objectives happens. And the grab! It'll make it in time, but they'll be focused on taking away the purple buff from James Panks even before or after they get the turtle.
They took everything away from AP Bren. Kills, the turtle, the purple.
Oh, not the start that AP Bren wanted. Although it seems like Chosker got the last hit on the purple buff. So Omega wasn't able to take that very small victory there for AP Bren.
It went from worse to bad.
Yeah. At least it's not worse. It's still bad though.
Yeah, but Smart Omega, with this lineup, with the Kalea, with the Lunox combination, surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
But I believe it was really because of that well-timed knock-up from the title strike from Super Yoshi. Surprising majority of the members from AP Bren.
And not to mention Lunox's mechanics, it's still HP-based damage. So in the absence of a carry, Ukir can be used to melt down there, to melt down Kekidan.
The heals are coming in the clutch as well. Oh! With the ultimate to pull Shizo away closer to his turret.
Big J with a play!
And they didn't even use the flicker. So Shizo was really just right there.
And Shizo didn't even purify.
Yeah, he just accepted its fate.
He was also just as much shocked.
Everyone's getting mountain shocked right now.
What?
It's been a great start for Andoryu on the Isun Shin.
Oh, yes.
And an even better start on Chom with a solo kill in the gold lane.
That's an understatement, Brigida. What's happening for Smart Omega? None of us expected this at 4 minutes. 4 kills, a turtle.
Again, I didn't expect AP Bren to full commit like that in the very first turtle, leaving their purple buff open for them.
I didn't expect the Ruby to win the lane like that.
That too. I think it started from one surprise, just chaining onto the next.
I mean, oh, there you go, and I'm offended. Catching Strop Skirt, but he still has the Crimson Beacon, so AP Bren are somehow able to keep themselves safe. But that's still space for the Barangay to secure this turtle once again.
Mountain Shocker, revealing everyone from AP Bren. Look at this, the Omega Barangay is blitzing the turtle.
Does Kekida want to use the Glorious Pathway even? Because none of them can go near. Smart Omega has the entire area to themselves.
Now AP Bren has to try and recover and try to lie comfortably in the bed that they made for themselves here, which is deciding to overcommit for the first major fight in the game, which has led to Omega now ballooning their lead, not just in the gold, but in the map. The Ruby has defeated the Granger in lane straight up.
Whoa.
That's a lot of money on Big J. Oh, and it's leading to a monster push.
Yep. Already has his War Axe too. So AP Bren will attempt to mirror everything that's happening so far, but with the current situation that they're in, I feel like Smart Omega can just be constantly on the aggressive side.
There's another Mountain Shocker for all of y'all who don't know. Yep, it's just a small AoE with a, you know, subtle map reveal.
Yeah, the biggest effect of the YSS ult we do not see. Omega sees on their point of view, but we don't see it.
I mean, we always see it. Like
there's a mini indicator if you're playing against it, but other than that, it's just really mostly Omega that gets to see everything.
God, this is some Big Brother things, man. Some Black Mirror stuff. What if Omega drafts this way and wins?
I was already holding my AP Bren emote earlier, but I'll have to put it down again.
Because I really thought AP Bren went into this with a much more comfortable draft, but they flubbed the first stake, and now they have to try and recover. Mid-game heroics are going to be required of them, but you know what? Let's not put it heroics.
Yeah.
Mid-game discipline.
Okay.
Heroics?
Underline that.
Oh,
How can you
pull!
do that? If there's another I'm offended landed onto Chop Skirt for the second time around, it keeps forcing out the Crimson Beacon. So how do they play aggressively knowing that a major resource like that is out of their hands?
Yeah, I think Renmar put it right, Brigida. Don't be aggressive. Accept the fact that you dropped the ball in the early game, the first 3 or 4 sequences, and you just wait until Omega decides they don't want to fight anymore, because am I right to assume that as the mid-game comes closer, maybe into the late game even, Omega gets better. Omega goes stronger because, oh my God, Omega just picked up a Sky Piercer.
Yeah, that's a Sky Piercer on a Lunox.
What?
Oh, I feel like I'm not dead, am I? Like I woke up alive, or I can feel that pinch.
I told you, it's Black Mirror, dog.
Oh my goodness, what kind of topsy-turvy world do we live in today that this is the draft that we see?
And it's only day 1 of week 8.
That's true. What else could we potentially see in the playoffs too?
And this team who's already eliminated has another game against Falcons. So who knows what might happen, but Kekenot goes for it either way, only using the glorious pathway to prevent them losing their mid lane turrets.
And I love it because, is it just me or is the new Mountain Shocker like an Astral Echo at home? Like, all you need is to know where they are, and then you can say if you want to fight or not.
Yeah, it's like, oh, cool, we get vision. Hey, I do a little bit of damage too. Sure, why not?
and a mini stun.
Yeah.
There's a CC involved in that AoE.
Little one. It's supplemented very well with the draft decisions by Omega. I was knocking it earlier, but the Ruby and the Glue together provide so much space.
Oh, wait, is that the Tsunami Slam committed onto Kekenot? They're not waiting for any other counter engages in the 2-man. I'm offended. Coming in from Dome. It's a double kill for Ukir, and Choksker won't make it out alive. Andoryu takes him out, and that's 3 members from the Bees.
That's the Venom coming out of Smart Omega. The Ukir DD.
This is what we were talking about with the last one, the Venom of Omega. Showing up with a pick that was last shown in MPL Philippines in Season 9 by then Onyx Philippines jungler Kyrie.
How potent is their Venom to make it work, even with the most surprising picks you could expect from their side? A clean take on the Lord. And Andoryu might still want to go for it, forces out the last Insanity from there.
You know what's insanity? What Omega's doing with this draft. 5K ahead. Not a single kill over to AP Bren. They had to give up the turrets in top and bot, but those are just necessary trades for them to get to this monstrous position, this dominant spot in game number 3. 9.5 minutes in. All right, discipline was the key for AP Bren to not lose.
Okay, but
Oh
there's
my
the
God!
return knockoff from Super Yoshi. They're not gonna wait for anyone else to start the fight but him. The turret in the mid lane eventually will fall, but they get to trade out Super Yoshi in the process. And the Mountain Shocker still catching up to everyone. AP Bren are forced to run away.
Andoryu almost became the hero there.
Almost.
Almost.
They just couldn't complete the dive to follow up on Doryu as a tower in the mid lane was still relatively healthy and Omega didn't want to risk it. But Omega does have the lead. It feels like after the Game 2 performance, Coach Snap and Coach Lembot looked at Jome and said, "You want a front line? All right, we'll give you Ruby. We'll put our marksman in the jungle instead."
Wait, so this was probably what Joe wanted to do earlier.
No, I think this is what Jome ended up having to do, given what happened in Game 2. If you know, you know, folks. That Irritel.
If he wants to lead from the front, okay. Here's a Ruby for you in the gold lane.
That's why Andoryu looked at Coach Snap after the draft pick. Is like, "Coach, you're really doing this to Jome?" And then the camera, literally, you can watch this again, folks, goes to Jome and goes like, "All right, I have to play Ruby."
And he's going full damage too. So he already has a Fury Hammer, the Albert War Axe, and he's looking to build another damage item.
Oh my god. Yeah, his only semblance of defense is the tough boots. That's it.
He's going all out, so whenever he captures anyone with the I'm offended, you could feel the damage come in.
You see the damage on the
Faraga?
on the Yuuzhan Shin. That's another work of the new rework. Is it's so much easier now to know when your passive will proc the damage difference between a melee and a ranged attack from Yuuzhan Shin.
Yeah.
He alone popped. There's Faraga.
Yeah, the indicator that shows up already for YSS players there. Omega can just keep this up, honestly. It's gotten to the point where it looks bleak for AP Bren to win this. Just when I thought they would, they take control of this early to mid, they missed their chance.
Oh, shocker.
Yeah, and now there's vision. Now Omega knows where AP Bren are. And they can just comfortably, from afar, just go, nah, or yay, or just so... Yeah, let's just handle the minion waves and then prepare for the Lord coming up.
Yeah, they went from maybe they could contest to they definitely could not contest.
Yeah, 10 seconds before this objective spawns, and AP Bren will have to, if they want, find a way to get into this place being controlled by Smart Omega, but they spawn out, Kekenon and decide to burst him first! The tankiest hero from AP Bren is currently down, and it's only Dare trying to zone out, but the last Insanity takes down Andoryu!
The shutdown!
And now they're still going for it! Tsunami Slam onto James Pax, but this might be AP Bren's timing! They're trying to fight back! Dare trying to walk away, but Super Yoshi with the conceal will get to escape, and it's only Luis chasing after him, but he will not succeed!
AP Bren divide and conquer. The key members of Smart Omega compromised!
Jove trying to go in and fighting everyone alone, but there's Dare with a clutch last Insanity, and 12 Skirt right in front of everybody, and now it's only Super Yoshi alive from the barangay!
How's that for heroics?
AP Bren, screw discipline. Why take the disciplined approach when we can try to just pull off what looks like the impossible? A turnaround after a horrible early to mid. Now in the late game, they've got Venom of their own. The B comes with a bit of Venom.
They cut that 6K, 7K goal lead down to a fraction. Barely 1,500. Smart Omega have lost so much of their early game advantage and are staring down a Lord from AP Bren. Up top, mid lane tier 1's gonna fall. And you know what the beautiful thing about that team fight was? It was a late entry from Shizo. It wasn't even a 5v5.
The bees have evolved into yellow jacket hornets at this point.
Is that the sound that Hornets?
Why would you make it sound like that, Brigida?
Oh wait,
yeah,
I did.
That was a great. That was your first sound effect attempt. I'll give it a 6.
Wait, I'll try to improve next time.
Smart Omega takes care of the Lord handily, but lose quite a bit of the map. Real estate up for grabs. AP Bren looking to shrink this goal lead even more, equalize it. Omega barely has 1,000.
Dare and Choveskirt were so good in that last engagement. Dare holding on, using the Faraga, the last Insanity as much as he could. Twice in that engagement. Choveskirt in that initial blast from Omega was actually left unattended, so he was able to dish out crowd control and damage as well from a safe distance. Concealed by AP Bren. Oh. They go to the purple buff to contest.
Oh, this time this is revenge. So we're taking away your purple buff because you kept trying to take away ours. Right. And now they might be more likely to look for openings to be confident enough to engage against Smart Omega.
AP Bren feel a little frisky. gets spotted by a Mountain Shocker, and I think it's at this point Omega knows they lost their purple. And now they have to recover. Lord coming up about a minute, lower quarter of the map. How does Omega avoid that again? Because AP Bren, even I don't understand how it happened. They divided and conquered. Yeah. They won a 4v5, and then eventually Shizo came in for cleanup. But how do you see that coming? Here's the thing. Omega knows it's coming. How do they stop it from happening?
Yeah, they gotta check that juice in. That's one of the biggest components as to why AP Bren won that last one. Dare also, yes, they can check, but it goes to show that if they put too much onto that X-Borg, the X-Borg will be able to quickly recover into the fight at this point and get this last Insanity much quicker, even if the team fight gets dragged out. And most importantly, if they're going to pull off something like that, where is Shizo? Because if the Granger's not there, then he's coming in for the late entry and you cannot finish it. You already have to start calling for backing away to safety.
So number one, don't look over there. Don't pay attention. Not like this. This is what AP Bren wants.
Wait, they're bursting down there once more, but he's still alive with the Faraga armor. Ukir takes down Shizu though, but this is AP Bren going all in. They're trying to chase after Andorio and they successfully will because they take him out. And now it's only through members of Smart Omega slowly trying to crawl back to their base, but even Super Yoshi gets denied the escape.
Seemingly a good trade because Omega had a plan. They flanked Shizo, took down the Silent Kid, silenced him, but they lost Andorio and Yoshi in the process.
They left their YSS at the mercy of the Leomord. AP Bren now have a good chance of getting this Lord unless Heroics, a miracle by someone from Omega.
Oh, that's the I'm offended. Already committed by Dome, but there's the glorious pathway to somehow allow him to walk away from danger. Are they still gonna try and contest this Lord? Because it's clearly secured by the bees. There's the spread and the grab committed by Luis onto Kekedot, but that might have been able to put him in a very dangerous spot. That's the last Insanity coming from there, taking him out, but the immortality gets traded out, and there's the Tsunami Slam bringing him closer to their base, but he still escapes!
The flicker from there! He survives! Not a single casualty for AP Bren! I think Omega shouldn't have contested. Omega should just let it happen, defend it from the base.
Omega are looking at him and going, first he was here, now he's dead. How did he get away? Flicker just in time. My goodness, there, Heroics, he is the definite hero of this game, number 3.
And this whole thing started with Omega biting down on Dare's Gambit. He was the bait once again. It started with him, it'll end with him. This could be an end angle. Smart Omega facing off against 3 waves.
That was a call from Smart Omega, but not sure if it was the right call. There's the capture onto Chop Skirt, but they just find a way to get into their base. That's the inhibitor turret already down up top for the Barangay. But look at how Luis is able to somehow create space. He gets to buy some time, but now it's the other members' time to defend this siege that's coming from AP Bren. There are still immortalities being popped here and there.
Oh!
And Okir gets a double kill as well.
The rest of AP Bren back off. Chovskirt and Dare just a hair away from death. Survive and run away. Smart Omega lives.
They've held on long enough. They no longer have inhibitors, but the game, their chance of seeing the pearly gates of the playoffs still stand. The gatekeepers want to solidify their chance.
That's the statement they want to leave.
Omega now, while AP Bren are trying to set a statement, they're gonna have to crawl into this. Good itemization by this glue, already picking up the Twilight armor. You're gonna have to balance that out with some magic defense later on. No wonder it's so tanky for Dare. He went for the Brute Force Breastplate, already also has the Athena Shield plus the Immortality, so he can take a lot of damage while also being able to dish a good amount on his own. Plus the increased movement speed you get per stack of the Brute Force Breastplate has been helping him out offensively and defensively.
Yeah, but second in terms of damage dealt though, it's Dare, who's eventually proving to become a huge problem for Smart Omega. Each and every time, even trying to take him out might not be the right call.
And that is a byproduct of Omega biting down on Dare as a juicy target. He's not a juicy target. He is spicy. He is too hot to handle. Don't do it. Even sacrificing Lewis for Dare isn't worth it. If I was Smart Omega, I'll just leave him be, find your better targets, make the most of these fights, end it quick, and then go from there. But as it is, AP Bren seem to have Omega by a string.
Yeah, but right now, multiple members of AP Bren are yet to have their immortalities. Not even Dare has his.
Oh, something to watch out for. Super Yoshi does have his. Taking this brush down bottom. I wonder if AP Bren knows. Mountain Shocker used up, so Omega are privy to AP Bren's positioning. They don't want to push in. This is a very difficult dance.
Look at all the minion waves crashing in here for AP Bren. This could be terrible for Omega if they time things wrongly. AP Bren know that they have the advantage for this one.
Oh, Super Yoshi
goes in.
Goes in. Title strike, and there goes the Chaos Assault trying to burst down Kekedat, who gets denied of an escape, but the Glorious Pathway still gets casted either way on the opposite side of the map. Last Insanity already committed onto Lewis, but all members survive.
Very good team fight by both teams, but the minion wave still crashing in for AP Bren. They can keep this pressure up, they can continue to be aggressive, because now the glue has to handle the waves. Same goes for the Ruby and the YSS. AP Bren will have an advantage yet again.
Massive ults and battle spells spent by both sides, but check this out. Ukir still has his flicker, so Ukir DD can still happen. Omega have a better go at round 2.
Yep, and Ukir's already 9-1-3. He's been really precise in terms of whoever he decides to target down. So AP Bren will really have to watch out for that, but Dare already has his immortality back too.
Oh no, AP Bren can play with that gambit, all the while Omega can have Bro step up, flicker forward, channel his inner Burmese Lunox, and go from there. Yoshi jumps in. Oh, does not want it. Yeah. That's the Mountain Shocker, revealing the position of every member of AP Bren.
Didn't have the flicker to close the gap. AP Bren, a good amount of their damage is coming from this X-Borg, the poke, the burst from the last Insanity. Chokeskirt is just purely utility right now. The setup for the Leomord and the Granger as well. Omega good positioning, but they're a little bit too tight. They need to spread out a little bit. Top minion wave again, not in a good spot. Omega might lose this alone because they have to give it up.
Oh Lord, at about less than half health, a third of its health. Dare gets a call, Kekedat pushing forward.
He's going for the zone, but Andoryu decides to stay and join the fight. There's the capture from Joe, but there's a winter crown from Shizu. Okir DD though happens, and G goes in behind, but then Shizu still survives, and now Okir and Joe are down.
Wanton death and destruction, brutality at the beast.
The base!
At the Lord, look at the base!
The minions!
There are so many minions to take care of.